Welcome back to this series, an AI-only campaign for Rome Total War, where I'm just going to spectate over the AI and see what happens. The winner will be decided at 100 BC. It's going to be a 340 turn campaign in total, going over 7 episodes, and the winner will be decided by the most amount of territory. If they own a protectorate, like, let's say, you know what a protectorate is, I don't need to explain this, but then the protectorate's territory is added on to the overlord. It makes it more interesting at the end, trust me, it does. And starting this episode off, the Germans have put Batavium under siege. Now, this is a very important settlement for the Julii. It's got a good population, so they can get good units out of here and spread them across the Alps into this territory here. But if the Germans get their hold on it, then that's not going to be good for the Julii at all. So, yeah, the Julii are kind of relying, I'm guessing, on Batavium falling to them, not the Germans. This could be quite an interesting point here in the entire series, but let's quickly check for diplomacy. So, good, beautiful, some more wars. Armenia and Parthia have gone back to war. So Armenia would, of course, took one settlement from them already. Parthia, of course, want to reclaim that, but I'm guessing Armenia wants a little bit more territory. The Romans have agreed to all go to war with the Gauls as well. And the alliance of Egypt and Parthia has been broken. They don't share a border yet, but once the Seleucids crumble, which I can imagine I'm doing very soon then, you know, I think the southern Middle East will be fought between Egypt and Parthia. That's kind of a well-positioned fort there. It's a shame there's more roads. Like, if this was the only road leading this way, then that would be quite good. But that's kind of impressive by the AI, compared to what we're used to seeing. Either way, let's continue. Parthia and Pontus are allies, and the Seleucids and the Greeks are allies, but that's not the important thing this turn. Hatra has fallen from the Seleucid Empire to Pontus. Now, Pontus does usually do quite well in these, so if they can get a good strong start, Pontus could be the main power of the Middle East, not Egypt. And, you know, now that they've taken this settlement from the Seleucids, that could be possible. It seems like Armenia here, they have potential as well. If they take Seleucia and then Susa as well. What Pontus did they? Right, they're still sieging this settlement here. They're probably going to take it. They might need a few more reinforcements. Maybe the Seleucids might show up and help. I don't know. But something's going to happen here that could be quite decisive. The Julii have realised they've taken far too long this campaign. About how many turns are we in? About 32 turns in, and they've decided now is time to make a push. They're getting their armies together and they're moving on Mediolanum. The Gauls are here with some troops, but I think if the Romans play it right, they should be able to take it. What's happening over here? So it seems like the British army got destroyed by the Gauls, but now they're super weak, the Gauls. So now the Germans have stepped in with a big army, and they should quite easily be able to walk over the Gauls in Alesia, taking the Gallic capital. That's unfortunate for Britain there. They've lost 2 very large armies attempting to take this, and in the end all they did was weaken it for the Germans. Very good for the Germans, not good for the British. And at this point I don't think we're ever going to see anything good for the Gauls. It's over for them. The Romans have gone to war with the Egyptians. I doubt really anything will come of that, but, you know, I'll keep checking it. Now, I keep saying for Gaul that it's over, but perhaps not. Just some stuff there if you want to see it. They beat the Germans here and forced them back, but they also saved the capital as well and brought in some reinforcements. It's not actually over for Gaul. They are at war on all fronts. That war with the British, the Germans, the Romans, and the Spanish. So you know, it's not looking good. And they don't have many armies, but they're holding on much better than I thought. So they do definitely have potential. I really doubt it, but they could, is what I'm trying to say. They could make something out of this. Scythia and Parthia are at war. I'll check that out soon. Sardis fell to Pontus. I knew they'll take it. Now they can regroup the troops. Ooh, but Thrace crossed over the water. They've landed here, and they're probably going to take this settlement. It seems like the Greeks are interested, hasn't they? Not really. But yeah, Thrace. If they can take that, that would be good for Thrace. That's what they need, because they're down to 2 settlements. They they kind of really need a boost of some kind right now, and this could be it. Start a new life in Turkey instead. This border here, Parthia and Scythia do share a border. This AI today with their forts is being smarter than ever. That's a good position for a fort. Maybe they'll be better, I don't know, defending the bridge. Yeah, I guess that would have been better, but you know, a fort there, that's okay. I think Scythia eventually will take this, but you know, this land is so big, it takes them a while to get up there. The war between the Egyptians and the Romans makes sense now. I see what the Egyptians were going for. They wanted Crete. I like how Egypt is building a navy empire, kind of a colonial empire in a way. They've got, of course, Halicarnassus have taken Rhodes, and now we're going for Crete as well, which they're probably going to take. Egyptian Greece. Imagine if we saw the rise of that. I've never seen Egypt do that before. You know, they can take these islands, but I've never seen them actually cross the water land in Greece or Byzantium or anything like that. As I was saying, I think it's only Pontus that can do that. But there's a first time for everything, so who knows? Maybe something might push them this way, and yeah, that could be really interesting, I think. Oh, Rome, you need to take your chance whilst you have it. The Germans have put Batavian under siege again, and I think this time they should definitely take it. They've got Segestica under siege as well. The Brutii took Salona. I think they did that in this turn or something, so well done to them. They're building a decent empire over here. But if the Gauls fall and the Germans take most of the territory, then you know they could pose a threat for the Romans. The British down here, okay, Alesia has got to fall at some point. I keep saying this is the army to do it, but this time I'm serious. This is the army to do it. I hope. And Britain have put this settlement under siege as well. I don't know if they'll take this one, but we might be able to. So yeah, I was wrong. The British still have some troops, and they didn't waste their entire armies to make it easier for the Germans. They might actually get something out of this war. Or maybe not. I don't really know at this point. Just let the AI do its thing. Despite the Seleucids being attacked on all fronts, they have managed to make some gains. They've taken this settlement here from Parthia, but the rest of the empire is a little bit in a dangerous spot. And there we have it. That was not good for either Gaul or the Romans. Batavium has fallen to the Germans. The Germans are now in Italy. They pose a threat to Rome, which could be really interesting, but the Romans have Mediolanum under siege, so they're probably going to take that. The British took both of these settlements here in the same turn, building a bit of an empire in Europe, which is good to see. Hopefully they can hold on to that, or maybe the Germans might go for them. The Germans have a lot of soldiers. I think Germany in this one has a lot of potential. But, you know, we've seen AI factions just crumble before with big empires. Gaul, for example. If they get attacked by Britain and Dacia and the Romans at once, then the Germans are going to fall, and that's just how it is. It's very luck-based when it comes to this campaign because of the diplomacy. Okay, finally the Julii are starting to expand a bit. They've taken this settlement here, and I don't know where they're going to go next, but at least they've got some settlements, which is quite good. They're going to, I guess, build up a little bit now. It's going to be interesting to see when the Marian reforms get involved. Yeah, I think that could be really interesting because of they get better soldiers, so then the Romans always expand quicker when they get the Marian reforms, even though it's all auto-resolve, and yeah, it still expands them much quicker. So yeah, right now I think the Germans could possibly, if they went for them, destroy the Romans, well, the Julii at least. But once they get the Marian reforms, I think it will be a different story. I think the Julii and the Brutii and of course the Scipii will start exploding at that point. But can they do it? Can they actually get those armies, get them on the field, take settlements, and actually win the game before 100 BC? There's 300 turns left. They could, but it doesn't always happen. I've seen AI only time lapses where it doesn't happen. So, you know, the barbarians, the Greeks, everyone else has potential in this. Even Parthia. Nah, never mind. Okay, so Thrace and Pontus signed a peace treaty. They managed to force Thrace out, which was good for them. The Brutii managed to take Sugestica. I thought the Germans was going to have their hands on that, but apparently not. The Germans, they should have gained so much in this, but they didn't. The British had cut them off here, the Romans have cut them off here, the Brutii took these settlements here from them, so they should have taken so much land, I think, but they just didn't. They only took Patavium out of it, which is quite a good settlement itself, but still, the Germans should have done so much more there, and that's a big setback for them. And of course Parthia, they're now down to their final settlement. Well done to Armenia for taking Susa. They've got quite a big empire built up here in the mountains. It's going to be interesting to see how they survive throughout the rest of the campaign if they do. Usually they're the type of faction where you're watching them to see if they survive or not win. Like, you know, you watch the Brutii to see which ones are going to win, or Egypt. But Armenia is one of those where if they've survived, they've done well. If they die, that's just an average campaign. Imagine if they win. Oh, that would be brilliant. Armenia and Pontus are now at war. So this border here in the mountains is going to become quite violent, I think. I think Pontus will win this war. They usually do. Armenia, you know, they sometimes are able to take out Parthia, but they don't really do much more than that. So I think Pontus have it, but who knows? There's always there could always be something different happen. The British Empire is back, and they've taken a few more Gallic settlements for Germans. They tried, but they just didn't get here in time, and the British still could keep pushing down and taking more. So I just stood on an apple. I'm at a different... I usually record in my room, but I'm downstairs in the kitchen, and there's an apple on the floor, and I just stood on it. No, I've been bad. I don't know how that got there. Just a random apple that I stood on. Yeah, so as I said, will the Romans be able to take Massilia down here? That could be quite a good settlement to help them into Gaul, and possibly into Iberia as well, but if the British get it first, then yeah, they'll struggle a bit. It's like a settlement outside of the Alps, so that will help them pass through and expand. Okay, so that was good for those cheering on the Julii there. They did manage to take it, so that's a good settlement now. They can now expand outside of the Alps. Well, I guess they could do that anyway with Athens, but they're not going to do that. The British, though, they do have a lot of troops down here, so they could take it back anytime they want, I think, right now. And if the British want to cause a serious blow on the Germans, they've got to strike now. Otherwise, if the Romans get their Marian reforms, they're not going to stand a chance. The Spanish, they seem interested in these territories as well. However, they keep failing in trying to take Numantia here. I know I pronounced that wrong, I don't care. Macedon and Egypt are now at war. Why? Oh, okay, they wanted roads. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they're probably wanting to take these islands here. Macedon should concentrate more on the Romans and the Greek city-states, in my opinion, but yeah, whatever, it's the AI. Ooh, now this was unexpected. Of course, the Parthia-Scythia war still continues. I thought Scythia eventually would take this settlement here from Parthia, but no, Parthia are fighting back. They're down to their final settlement, and they're probably not going to win, but they want to make a name for themselves. They're making a push. They've taken Campus Alani from the Scythians, and they want more by the looks of things. So, well done to Parthia. That's quite a big hit on the Scythians. And Scythia, all of a sudden, they're not looking too good. They don't have many troops. And if Thracia goes for them at this point, then, yeah, they could be the first faction to get destroyed, because no one's been destroyed yet. It could, if I had to guess, I'd say it's either going to be Thracia, Scythia, if they are at war on another front, or possibly the Gauls. Yeah, the Gauls are now down to their final 2 settlements, although this one here is never going to fall. It's now their capital. Looks like the Spanish are interested in this settlement though. If they take that, then that'd be good for them. A way for them to get into modern France. Thrace has gone to war with Scythia. So that's not good for Scythia, but it's also not good for Thrace as well, because they're under siege now. Maybe Scythia wanted this, maybe it'll help them out more, like try and retreat down south and just conquer as we go. Macedon, of course, just took Byzantium from Pontus, so yeah, that was really good for Macedon there. They really needed that settlement. Now all they need is to have a few successes against the Romans, force them out a little bit before the Romans get too strong down here, but I doubt that's not going to happen. Over here it seems like Carthage is interested in going for Greece, and Rome is being very quiet down here. The Scipii always take their time. Yeah, they very rarely do much, but they almost always take Sicily eventually, but they always take their time. The Germans have a lot of troops here, but so do the Romans as well, so this could get really brutal soon. Seems like the Julii are going to be the ones to take Narbo Martius, which will leave the Gauls down to their final settlement. And it looks like the British are interested in taking that from them as well. Poor Gauls. They might be dead by the end of this episode. Okay, so that settlement of course fell, and the final Gallic settlement is under siege by the Spanish. They do have some reinforcements here, but we've got to fight through the Spanish first. So, yeah, Gaul could be done in just a couple of turns, potentially. What's this here? So, Macedon are now at war with the Romans. Right, I'll check that out soon. There was something else that happened. Yes, Armenia. Well done, Armenia. The underdog nation. Armenia and Parthia are, you know, underdog nations type of things, and they managed to take a settlement off Pontus. Well done to them there. Cutting off Hatra as well, and they're probably going to take Hatra as well. If not, then the Seleucids will retake it with their armies. So yeah, well done to Armenia. And it's not looking good for Pontus all of a sudden. They've lost one settlement, they've got another under siege, they've lost Byzantium as well. It's not looking good. So the Macedon-Roman frontier, the Romans have them under siege. If Macedon bring all of their forces down here and just really attack the Romans in a brutal way, I think they could force them back. But then again, the Brutii, they've got a lot of troops here now. Maybe not. The Julii definitely we could get rid of. But the Brutii, I think this could actually be it for Macedon. The amount of troops they've got. I know Macedon has a lot of soldiers of their own, but you know, this could be the beginning of the end for them. Oh, and the Germans, they're coming. They've gone to war with the Romans. Okay, so let's take a very quick look at this. Rome's pulling some troops back to try and deal with them. There's a massive German army right here, but I think the Romans eventually should be able to beat it down. Actually, this is going to be good for the Romans, I think. At least for Julii. The Julii should be able to take Batavium back, maybe even push up north and secure the Alps. But the Brutii, they're going to lose some settlements. They're going to lose Segestica and possibly even Salona. Yeah, if the Macedonians and the Germans team up on the Brutii, they could do a lot of damage to them. And Gaul prevails over here. They're not done yet. Well, they are done, but they're still fighting on. The British are now wanting to get involved. They're at war with the Julii, so the Julii right now, they're at war with the British. They've got 2 settlements over here under siege, which I think the British could take from them. Over here they have Batavian under siege, but if the Germans keep on pushing, then they could save the settlement and maybe take some Roman settlements of their own. The Julii are struggling right now. The Brutii held out, brought some troops up there and managed to survive, but that weakened their front on Macedonia, so Macedon managed to hold out. It's like an anti-Roman alliance right now of Macedon, the Germans, and the British. I guess you could say Carthage is kind of involved as well. Yeah, I'll say Carthage as well, although they're not making too much of a push onto them, but they are involved. And there we go, the Gauls are dead. The Spanish managed to destroy them and now they control all of Iberia. The British are of course at war with all Roman factions now, and yeah, faction destroyed, Gaul. Gaul was the first faction to get destroyed in this AI only series. But they did so well as well. they had such a good empire stretching, of course, from this settlement here they had into Iberia as I started with, but they also came all the way down here. They had these two, they had Segestica all the way to Salona. They were, I think, the largest empire at one point. I think I might check the stats at the end of part 3. But yeah, they were doing so well, and now they're gone. Divided between the Julii, the Germans, the British and the Iberians. Well done to everyone else for taking the territory. Well done to the Germans for holding out against the Julii. They've managed to force them back, but the Julii have come in and played back under siege again. The Germans, they've got the troops to push back the Julii, so they should be fine for now. And well done to the British. Massila and Narbonne Martius have both fallen, and now all of modern France, I guess, is under British occupation. Oh, such a beautiful sight. Yeah, I like how it's kind of modern borders, Iberia, France. And now all the Romans need is Patavium, and then they've mostly got Italy at that point. The Seleucids making a bit of a comeback on Pontus. They've taken back Sardis and Ankara here. Yeah, that's all of a sudden it's just collapsed for Pontus. They lose one settlement to Armenia and that's it. What's happening over here? Right, Pontus possibly cannot hold against this. Surely it's got to fall soon, don't you think? Surely. And there we go, the next turn after bringing it up, Armenia take it. Well done to Armenia. However, I was about to say they're doing so well, and then all of a sudden they lose this settlement here from the Parthians. Of course, well done to Parthia, but come on Armenia, I do still believe in you. If you hadn't lost that, they'll be looking really good. If they take a few more settlements from the Seleucids as well, they might even be able to challenge Egypt at that point, which would be really interesting to see. Pontus are down to the final 2 settlements. I don't think they're going to win now, Pontus, but I think they're definitely going to survive for quite a while. I can't imagine these 2 settlements falling anytime soon. The Spanish have joined in to go to war with the British as well. And there's a few other stuff there. Britain, you know, the Romans aren't much of a threat, but they're pushing into Roman territory. With the Germans' help, the Julii could actually lose both of these settlements here. I think they'll hold on to these 2 as I've got the SBQR protecting them, but I think the Julii is going to lose 2 settlements if the Germans and the British work together. Are they still allied? No, they're no longer allied, but you know, they're not at war with, so they should be mostly fine. But now they've got the Spanish coming up into their back, so they've got to get some troops down here to at least defend from the Spanish. Okay, Pontus are still, I guess, trying, but took back Ankara here from the Seleucids, but what's the political, what's the diplomatic relation like? Some protectorate alliance stuff, but I think when it broke, they're now a protectorate of the Seleucid Empire. So right now the Seleucid Empire, if the game was to end right now, the winner is decided by who owns the most amount of territory. So I'll count up all the territory, and then, but the Seleucids will get a +3, as the Pontus have 3 settlements, so they like own their settlements on the final results. Right, I guess they'll be leading if they did that, if it was to end now. I guess the British also do have a lot of potential. I don't know, I'll check the stats at the end of part 3, but the Brutii and the SBQR had to both come up north to help the Julii against the Germans. So you can't actually see what's going on because it's happening in the end turn, which is difficult to show because it's zooming me across the map as well. But what's happening is the Germans put this settlement here under siege. The Romans fought them and managed to push them back, and then the British attacked and the Romans fought them and managed to push them back. The Romans now are very weak, and the Germans and British still have troops, so the next 1 or 2 more attacks I think we should definitely take this settlement. But the Romans, they're fighting a lot of battles and they're really holding out in defence of Mediolanum. The Seleucid Empire took Pergamon from the Greek city-state, so now the Greeks, they're down to their final 2 settlements, Sparta and Syracuse. Macedon has Athens under siege. I think they should be able to take that. They've got a good control on their own territory as well. Finally, Carthage is under siege. Well, the Sicilian settlement is under siege by the Scipii. Can the Scipii at last take it? That would be good to see. The British have them under siege here. I'm sure the Germans will want to try and get involved as well. And the Spanish have Narbo Martius under siege as well. It could possibly have the troops to take that from the British, I think. Possibly. But either way, that's the end of the episode. The end of part 2 of this AI-only Rome Total War campaign. And it's definitely really getting into it now. First of all, are the Julii going to hold? Or is it all about to collapse? The Romans, all of a sudden, in the north, are looking desperate. The Barbarians are at the gates, and they could cause a lot of problems for the Romans, possibly even destroy the Julii if they do it right. But of course, the British are under threat from the Iberians. Will they be able to hold? I think they should be able to, but it's going to be difficult for them. They don't have to. Yeah, they're already doing it. I was going to say they don't have to pull troops away from the Roman front to help over here. And yeah, as you can see, that looks like what they're doing. And how is the rest of the world going to play out? Of course, the Seleucids, Armenia and Pontus are warring between themselves and Parthia as well, weakening themselves, and then the Egyptians just slowly building up armies. At one point they're going to walk in and take it all, perhaps, I don't know. But I'm curious to know still, who do you think is going to win at this point? Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe for more. Part 3 will be next, and goodbye.